Welcome to Yesterday's Airlines, and in this video we're going to take a look at the brand new NG Models Airbus A350-900 mould, which NG have been kind enough to send me a second sample of. Now, if you haven't seen my first video on the original resin sample that I was sent, then go check that out. But this video we've got a full die-cast version of the mould, and as I understand it, this will be the final version, and releases for the A350 are going to start coming in the next couple of months. So looking at something like probably October, November time. So, you know, there are already quite a few A350-900 molds. Check out my website, Yesterday's Airlines, for a detailed review of each of those. And I'll also be publishing a detailed scoring review, checking how this NG Models version compares to the best of those other existing 400 scale molds. But in this video we're going to take a quick look around the mold itself and see what I think of it, see how it fits with the real thing. I'm not going to do any scoring in this video, just going to have a quick look about the aircraft. So we'll start by taking a look at the nose section, which has always been the area of biggest complaint from all the existing molds. JC Wings have recently updated the nose on their A350 and it's looking better. The nose on the Aviation 400 is good. The nose on the Phoenix is less good. They've all got issues, however. So how does this new nose on the NG Models one stack up? It stacks up really well, I think. One of the things that the existing molds have struggled a little bit with is the multiple change in direction. So you've got a curve from the cockpit roof down to the windows, and then there's a second change in contour here just at the base of the windows, and this mold shows both of those changes really nicely. If anything, perhaps the nose here is a little bit too long, but it's you know, I think it's actually pretty accurate. I've compared it to photos, it fits nicely, and I think it's a slightly better nose than exists on any of the existing molds, including the AV400 mold. The other really nice thing about the front of the aircraft is the undercarriage, which is extremely nicely detailed. It's got really good detailing here on the front. You can see the little spurs on the nose gear there are really nicely detailed. It's got the little box above those as well, and it's got a really well sized nose gear tyre, which is something that the AV400 mold has also struggled with somewhat, getting the tyre size correct. Also nice here is the undercarriage is the right length, and that's been an issue with the JC Wings Gemini A350. And actually also the Phoenix one too. It's too short on one, it's way too long on the other. So, you know, I think the front of the aircraft is looking really good. The only thing here which slightly concerns me is that there does appear to be a slight increase or slight curve here in the roofline just before the front of the cockpit kind of area there, and it's quite hard to see, and it is perhaps not anything to really be too concerned about, but it is something that was on the resin mold. It's better than it was. It still does seem like it is actually there on this one though, and I do think that, you know, when I put this up against flat surfaces, it does seem like there's a bit of a curve going on there just before the roof line. I don't know if you can really see it, maybe just about. So I'm not entirely certain about that. Maybe that's a bit of a negative, and probably the only real negative I can find with this mold at the moment. Looking at the center of the fuselage, the engine pylons and the engines, this is another really nicely done area. The engines, nacelles have a really good shape. The shape of the exhaust portions is really accurate, much better than on say the JC Wings one, which has issues here. The way the engine pylon curves and this kind of flange and meets with the rear exhaust is really hard to get right, and nobody else has managed it, not even AV400. So that's really nice as well. And when you move around to the front of the engines, you can see that they're see-through. The fan blades do go around. They're actually really nicely done, the fan blades on this aircraft. The only criticism here is that the fan blade direction should be the same in both engines, and it currently isn't. So this one is correct, and this one is not currently correct. That's an easy thing to rectify though, and the sort of thing you'd expect NG to get right when they actually do the releases. But otherwise the blades look really good and they do spin, you know, but you need something to actually get in there and make them spin, and frankly I don't care. The other nice area here is the undercarriage. It's got a really good feel, really nice detail to the landing gear here. I think that they've done a really good job, and again this is an area which some of the other molds have not done so well on. One of the things here is actually that the undercarriage struts don't move up and down, which they do on all the other existing molds, but that has enabled NG, I think, to get a more realistic, more detailed view of things. So that's really nice. When they sent me the resin mold, one of the issues I had with it was the wingspan. It wasn't quite correct, and they've fixed that on this, so I've looked at the other A350 molds and compared it, and it's good. The other thing that is key and different about this is that it replicates a later A350 with a modified winglet. So I don't know if you can really see from here, but the winglets on this later A350 are taller and squarer, and they've got that really nicely done. And you can see from the front the winglets are quite tall. And if I perhaps can move in one of the ones from AV400, you can see perhaps that they're not quite as high. It's really hard to get the angles the same, but it looks good to me. The shapes look nice. I haven't got any issues there. And again, at the rear of the aircraft, it's got this nice squared off tail cone, which is something A350s do. It's got a free rudder, which is nice. It connects really nicely into the top of the fuselage, and the tailplanes are good as well. So, you know, overall this mold is looking pretty excellent, except for that minor concern I have about the line here. And to be honest, I'm not really sure if I'm just seeing things, but sometimes it does look like it just slightly rises and then falls, and perhaps you can see that if I hold it up against the line of the glass panel in the background. But otherwise, this is looking like a killer mold, like a really, really good addition, and the sort of thing that I think NG will use well and produce some nice models on. So, yeah, I think that everyone out there looking for more A350s, looking for a more realistic A350, is going to be pretty happy with this mold. So, you know, something for you to look forward to as we get towards Christmas. I think that there will be some, you know, nice A350s. So, you know, what A350s do you want to see that haven't been made already, or perhaps have just been made poorly? You know, drop a comment in the video. And you never know, NG might be watching, they might make them for you. So, I hope you enjoyed this quick video, quick look at the new A350. I think it's looking pretty good. I think it's going to make some great models. And, you know, as always, check out the website, subscribe to the video, like me on Instagram, all the usual stuff. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks very much for watching.